lipsticks, it can be defined as the dispersion of color. It is basically color, isn't it? You have a color, and that color is what? It is dispersed. So this is the color, this is the red color. Here it is the red color, which is dispersed in a base. So you have a base which is made up of many ingredients. So you have a base, and inside the base, what you have dispersed, you have dispersed the color, so that that color, okay, whatever you have dispersed, can be applied on the lips. And what does this base consist of? It consists of many things. It consists of blends of, it consists mixture of oils, fats, and waxes. Okay. Along with that, what may be present is you have a suitable perfume and you have flavors. And what it is done is it is molded, isn't it? It is molded in a suitable form. And what is that form? In the form of a stick. And why you are doing it? What is the purpose? The next part is about the purpose. The purpose is to impart attractive gloss and color, okay, when it is applied onto the lips. So what is a lipstick? Lipstick is nothing but the dispersion of color in a suitable base, which is made up of oils, fats, and waxes, perfumes, and flavors, and it is molded in the form of a stick. And why it is done that? In order to impart gloss and color when it is applied onto the lips. So when you apply this on the lips, then what it should do is it should impart the attractive gloss. It should impart the color, okay, when you apply it to the lips. So that is how you are going to define a lipstick. Now, what is the use of a lipstick? What is the purpose of using a lipstick? First, in order to provide a moist appearance to the lips. The basic purpose of any cosmetic that you have to remember is beautification. It is promoting attractiveness. You want to look attractive, okay? You want to look beautiful. That is a major purpose of your cosmetics, okay? So what does it do is, what does the lipstick do? It provides a moist appearance to the lips. Why you want the moist appearance to the lips? So that the lips look beautiful, okay? To make it more noticeable and prominent, okay? You want to make it more noticeable and you want to make it more prominent. And if there are some defects that are there in the lips, then you can remove those defects. One of the other reasons that is given in the literature is in order to make the smaller lips look broader and to make the broader lips look smaller. If you want to make it in that way also, then also you can provide that. That is altering the appearance. So you are altering the appearance. The broader lips are there. You want to make it look smaller. Okay. Usually ऐसे ही होता है. अगर आपके पास broad lips है, then you feel no, the non-broad, what you call that, the smaller lips, they look better. Okay. And if you have the non-broad lips, then you want it to look broader. Okay. So whatever color you have, you don't like it. Whatever features you have, you don't like it. You want to alter the features because whatever God has given you, you don't like it, isn't it? Most of the time, you find अरे नहीं उसके पास वो ज़्यादा अच्छा दिख रहा है. लंबे वाले तो आपके कम वाले तो आपको लंबे वाले अच्छे लगते हैं और वो लंबे वाले को लगता है कि नहीं उसके छोटे वाले वो अच्छा है. Okay, so it is in that way. Okay. So you want to make your broader looks look narrower, or the narrow lips you want to look it as a broader. Okay. So basically to provide the moist appearance of the skin, to make it look prominent, okay, noticeable, and to disguise the defect. That is the basic function of your lipstick. Now, what are the characteristics that are required from your lipstick? What characteristics that you look for? So once you know the characteristics, then you can impart those characteristics in your preparation. Accordingly, you are going to select your excipients. That is why you should know what are the characteristics that are required. The first characteristic that is required, it should effectively cover the lips, isn't it, with your color and impart a gloss, and it should last long. That is the first characteristic that is it should be required. That should effectively cover the lips with the color and a gloss, and it should last for a longer period of time. It should maintain the intensity of the color, isn't it? Your color intensity should be maintained without any alteration. It should not fade off. If you have put red color, it should remain red only till the end. It should not fade off and become, say, somewhat orangish or yellowish. It should not fade off. The color should not get faded off. That is another thing that you require. It should adhere firmly to the lips. That's why we have said that it should be long lasting. It should adhere firmly to the lips, and it should not get removed from the lips immediately. Okay, and it should provide non-greasy appearance. It should also have good thixotropic property. What do you mean by thixotropic property? When you are applying it on the lips, okay, with less amount of pressure, okay, the lipstick should the base should get properly, the color should get properly applied onto the lips with just minimum amount of pressure. That's what we call it as a good thixotropic property. It should be smear proof, right? It should not get smeared off. It should not get removed. It should not get spreaded. It should remain onto the lips for a longer period of time. So it should be smear proof. Next, it should possess the required elasticity. That is what we talked about, the good thixotropic property. Okay, so it should possess the required plasticity, and this property should be maintained throughout the storage period, right? So you are manufacturing it today and you are using it after 1 year, then also that property should be maintained. That thixotropic property, that plasticity should be maintained. It should not be gritty in nature. It should be smooth when applied. It should get easily dried off, okay, after application, okay. Then it should possess, the stick should possess the firmness. That when you are applying onto the lips, the stick should not get broken, okay. It should possess that firmness, and it should maintain that strength at varying temperature up to 55 degrees Celsius, okay. Otherwise, agar temperature बढ़ गया summer season में वगैरह, then it should not get melted off easily. You should not use such ingredients that it melts off easily or it gets broken off, okay. The stick should not dry or it should not crumble easily. It should remain in that stage, okay, at the stage in which you are manufacturing for a longer period of time. When you are storing it, it should not dry or it should not crumble up easily. Then it should possess a pleasant fragrance, and it should possess a good flavor, because you are applying it onto the lips, so there are chances that some of the part may go inside, that is near to your nose also, isn't it? So it should have a very good fragrance, and if some part goes inside the mouth, it should be safe also, and it should possess good flavor also. And lastly, it should be safe and it should be non-irritating to the lips. It should not cause any side effects to your lips. The side effects such as cheilitis, etc., it should not take place. It should be safe and it should be non-irritating. So these are the properties that are required from your lipstick. In order to have these properties, okay, we have to use components in such a way that all these properties are there inside your lipstick, okay. The main ingredient इसमें क्या है, अगर आप देखोगे, the main ingredient is what? Color. You want to apply the color, you want to make your lips colorful, okay. And while you are making your lips look colorful, okay, you want some property from it so that the color remains for a longer period of time. The color can be applied easily. It should be safe. It should be having flavor. It should be having the property of thixotropy. It should be having plasticity, and so on and so forth, okay. It should maintain this property for a longer period of time, okay. All these things are required from your formulation that you are preparing. As we talked about, what in your definition, what does the formulation consist of? It consists of a base which is made up of oils, which is made up of waxes, okay, in different proportion, containing flavor, containing color, okay, and containing other miscellaneous ingredient, okay. So this is the formulation that we talked about in your lipstick. So what are the ingredients? What is your lipstick made up of? The lipstick is made up of near about 5 to 6 major important components. The first is the solid component, that is the waxes. This is the most important component inside the lipstick. The sturdiness to the lipstick, okay, जो sturdiness आया है lipstick को, that is because of these waxes. It consists of hydrocarbon waxes, mineral waxes, hard waxes, microcrystalline waxes. These are the number of waxes that can be used. apart from a solid component, you have a liquid component, okay, that is present inside it, which we talked about the oils. So your waxes becomes the solid component, and your oils becomes the liquid component. The liquid component consists of mineral oil, vegetable oil, castor oils, butyl stearate. You have glycols, water, silicon fluids, isopropyl malleate. Okay, so these are the different liquid components that are present, which we talked about the oil. The next thing that you require is the softening component. We said that when you apply the when you press the lipstick onto the lips, okay, what you should do is, with a mild amount of pressure, okay, the color should spread onto the lips. That is acquired from the softening component. Okay, it consists of anhydrous lanolin, cocoa butter, lecithin, and petrolatum. Okay, so these are the softening components which helps in the spreading of the color or the spreading of the base onto your lips. The most important component is the coloring agent. You all choose lipstick. You all means I'm talking about the girls. Okay, so you all choose lipstick depending upon the color, isn't it? So there are different colors. These colors should be very safe. This color should be approved by the drug and by the FDA. Okay, those colors should be used. For example, caramine. Okay, dye stuff stains can be used. Pigmented stains can be used. Lace can be used. Then you can have pearls and pigments. Pearls and pigments give that shiny thing to your lipstick. Okay, when you apply, okay, you get those pearl like appearance to your lips. Okay, that is because of the pearls and pigments. For example, guanine crystals, okay, bismuth oxychloride, these can be used in order to have the pearl like appearance to your lipstick. Then you have opacifying agents. Opacifying agents such as titanium dioxide can be used. Now this titanium dioxide can be mixed with colors, okay, different colors, in order to get different shades also. If you want a little bit of lighter shade, then titanium dioxide can be added to your base color, whereby you can get lighter shades from it. Then perfumes are required to be added, as we have said that the it should be what you call it, it should have good smell, etc. So rose oil, cinnamon oil, lavender oil can be added, and other miscellaneous agents, for example, preservative, antioxidants, and flavoring agents can also be added to a lipstick. When you add all these ingredients, at that time your lipstick is going to get formed. Let us see each one of them in detail. But what we are going to do is, we are going to study it quite fast, because two things, the time that is allocated is quite less for this what you call that for this chapter. Okay, and secondly, there is not much in order to understand. It is much of a remembrance part. Okay, now let us talk about the solid component first. Now, as I said, what is the solid component? It basically gives the structure to the product. Lipstick is in the form of a stick. Okay, it remains in the form of a stick. The structure is in the form of the stick because of these solid components. आपने कैंडल देखा होगा, right? Candle remains as a candle, okay, as such. It is because of what? It is made up of waxes. What is the wax that is present in candle? That is the candidilla wax. It is made from candidilla wax. Okay. In the similar manner, there are different types of waxes. The different types of waxes are hydrocarbon waxes, made up of hydrogen and carbon. For example, white beeswax. Okay. You have mineral waxes. For example, ozocarite and sericine. These are the mineral waxes that are present. Then you have hard waxes. For example, carnauba wax. You have candidilla wax. You have hard paraffin. These are the hard waxes. Okay. And you have microcrystalline waxes. Okay. Now these are used in combination. अगर आप सिर्फ कैंडिडेला वैक्स यूज करोगे तो आपकी लिपस्टिक कैंडल जैसे बन जाएगी. Are you understanding? Okay, it will be having color, but it will be nothing but a color candle, right? So you have to use combination of these waxes along with the liquid components in order to prepare a lipstick. Okay. Let us talk something about the hydrocarbon waxes. One of the example of hydrocarbon waxes is white beeswax. Okay, it is also known as the common wax. It is an oily base. It is obtained from honeycomb. The melting point is between 62 to 65 degrees Celsius. The concentration that is used is near about 3 to 10%. Okay. It forms a very good base, okay, for the molded product. So white beeswax is very widely used. It is used for entrapment of the castor oil, which is the liquid component which we are using, okay, and it is also used as a stiffening agent for the lipstick. What are the advantages? It has a very good plastic property. It readily deforms when it is warmed. So when you are applying it, when you are rubbing it onto the skin, that is the lips, okay, then it gets readily deformed, and it forms a very good layer onto the lips, okay. Then it is compatible with vegetable minerals and animal waxes. If you are going to add them further, then it's compatible with them. If you are making the combination of waxes, okay, then it is compatible with them. It can be molded in the required form, right? Beeswax is the highly used wax. Honeycomb का आपने देखा होगा कैसा structure होता है, okay. In that form it is having the structure. The quantity used is very less, that is 3 to 10%. अगर आप इसका ज्यादा quantity use करेंगे, if you are using the quantity of 15 to 20%, then what you call the lipstick is going to be very stiff in nature. अगर आपको stiffness किसी भी preparation में बढ़ाना है, if you want to increase the viscosity of any of the preparation, if you want to increase the viscosity of your semi-solid preparation, then beeswax is one of the very good ingredient in order to increase the viscosity, okay. And in 1 or 2% also you can increase the viscosity of your preparation, okay. Then so it can be molded in the required form, that is in the stick form. The only disadvantage that it has is in the concentration of more than 20%, it forms dull film on the surface of the lips. So it is never used alone. This beeswax is never used alone. It is always used with the other waxes. For example, ozocaride wax, carnauba wax, or candidella wax. Along with these waxes, it is always being used. But white beeswax is one of the ingredients that you will find in any formulation. If you open any formulation of lipstick, then you will find that white beeswax is always present inside it. It is one of the most important ingredient, but the quantity that is required is very less. Near about 3 to 10% of the quantity has been required. But it gives that shape, it gives that structure to that lipstick. Okay. The next is your mineral waxes. One of the example is ozocaride wax. It's an amorphous hydrocarbon. It is obtained from the petroleum products, the bituminous product. Okay. Melting point is near about 56 to 82 degrees Celsius. Now melting point मैंने क्यों दिया आपको? Melting point is very important because it should not have so less melting point, so that if you are storing it and if the temperature increases, okay, if your room temperature increases, then the lipstick is going to melt down, isn't it? That should not happen. That's why the melting point is very important. So melting point is near about 56 to 82 degrees Celsius. Concentration that is used is near about 5 to 10%. The uses of ozocaride wax, how it is used in your lipstick or in other ingredients and other formulations also. It increases the melting point of the base because iska melting point 56 to 82 hai. If you have seen the melting point of the earlier this thing, it was near about 62 to 65 degrees Celsius, whereas this is 56 to 82 degrees Celsius. The concentration required is near about 5 to 10%. I told you. So yeah, it is used to increase the melting point of the base. It ensures the maximum retention of oil matrix. You are going to add oil further to it, isn't it? This is the solid component. We are going to add oil to it, liquid component. That is retained inside this structure, and it can be easily transformed into the required shape, right? Advantages, it is available in various grades. Disadvantages, it may be subjected to adulteration. The next, this was the first mineral wax, that was ozocaride wax. The next wax is sericin wax. That is, it is also apart from bituminous products. It is also hydrocarbon. Okay. Their melting point is between 60 to 75 degrees Celsius. Concentration 5 to 10% is used. It is also used to increase the melting point of the base, and it is used as the stiffening agent to provide the firmness of the finished product. Most of the waxes are used as a stiffening agent. Please remember. Okay. whenever you want to stiffen a semi-solid preparation, you go for preparation. You go for using of waxes. The next is Candidilla wax. It is obtained from plant Euphorbiaceae. Okay, that melting point is between 65 to 75 degrees Celsius. Then again, it is used to increase the hardness and melting point of the base. It is again used in combination with or alone or in combination with carnauba wax. The next type of hard wax that has been used is hard paraffin, obtained from petroleum. Temperature melting point is between 55 to 65. It is also used in very minor quantity because it also provides very hardness to the preparation. Then it improves the gloss of the finished products and imparts the rigidity to the product. It has limited solubility in castor oil and hence does not dissolve and may provide the greasy look. The next type of wax is carnauba wax, also known as it is obtained from the leaves of Brazilian wax palm tree. Temperature, if you see, is very high, that is 81 to 90 degrees Celsius. Okay, it is available in three colors, that is yellow, gray, and brown. Used in a very minor quantity. It increases the melting point of the base. It provides a rigidity to the stick. It is used as a stiffening agent to provide firmness of the finished product. Okay, and it helps in molding and by shrinking the stick away from the. Now this is the important characteristics that the Candidilla wax has. Now you are putting your material, you are melting while preparation. You are putting the melted material inside the mold. Okay, so what does this Candidilla wax do is it shrinks away from the surface of the mold. So यहाँ से वो छोड़ देता है mold को. It leaves the mold easily from this because it shrinks, and hence it can be easily be removed. So if you want to remove, if you add carnauba wax to your preparation, then that lipstick can be easily removed from the mold. Okay. Disadvantage, it is not miscible with other waxes. Okay, and it remains as the separate solid phase. Okay, and because of its very high melting point, if you see the melting point, it is very high, and hence it does not get mixed very easily with the other waxes. Okay, the next you have is the microcrystalline waxes. They are nothing but again they are the hydrocarbon waxes containing long chain carbon. Okay, then the melting point is 60 to 120 degrees Celsius. Concentration is 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, now it helps to maintain the crystal structure of the lipstick, and hence they may prevent sweating. So this is the sweating. If you see over here, okay, can you see the lipstick? And the sweating is there onto the lipstick. You can see the sweating over here. Sweating is nothing but when the temperature changes around the lipstick, it causes the emollient ingredients to come onto the surface. Okay, so this emollient, whatever are present inside the lipstick, they come onto the surface and they create small beads of liquid. In your lipstick also you must have seen this. Okay, this is known as sweating of lipstick. The microcrystalline waxes, they usually prevent the sweating of this lipstick, so they can be added. Disadvantage, it possesses low solubility in castor oil. This was the one ingredient that is used inside the lipstick, that is the waxes. Okay, that is the solid ingredient which gives the sturdidity to the preparation. लेकिन अपने को preparation, we don't want the preparations to be only stiff along with the color. Okay, if you have only a stiff preparation along with the color in the form of a stick, then it won't be applied onto the lip. It won't spread onto the lips. Hence, we want the other ingredients also to be added. And the next ingredient, the most other ingredient that has been added is the liquid component. Okay, what the liquid component consists of? The liquid component mostly consists of oil. Okay, the oils that are used are mineral oils, vegetable oil, castor oils, or alcohols. These can be used. Okay, now what are the properties that are required from this oil? Okay, the first property that is required, it should have a good dissolution property. Basically the colors. Okay, you have the oil, and inside the oils the colors are being added, and the colors are dispersed inside the oil. If you see the procedure, these colors are dispersed inside the oil, and then these oils are added to the waxy material, to the solid component. Okay, So you should have a very good dissolution property, or you should have a very good dispersion property, basically in order to dissolve all the bromo acids, in order to dissolve all the colors. Okay, so that is the first property that is required from it. Then it should have optimum viscosity range, right? It should not be too very viscous also, and it should not be very less viscous also. It should have optimum viscosity grade. It should be colorless, odorless, and tasteless. It should be non-toxic and non-irritant, and it should be easily compactable and stable. It should be compatible with the waxy material. It should be compatible with the colors, with the other ingredients that are added inside the lipstick formulation. It should be compatible with that also, and it should be stable also. As it is oil, so it should not undergo rancidity, etc. very fast. Okay. Now, the liquid components that are added are mineral oil. Okay. So it consists of blends of hydrocarbon obtained from petroleum source. And now they may be either available in two forms. It is available in light mineral oils or heavy mineral oils. And the use of this mineral oil, okay, than the solvent property. So it is having more of the, it is adding more of the gloss, and it is having less of the solvent property. Concentration that is used is near about 5%, and they do not undergo rancidity. As I said, that the oil should be stable in nature. So they are using concentration of 5%, and it usually does not it does not become rancid in nature if they are being used. Okay. The next oil is castor oil. Again, a very widely used oil in your lipstick preparation. If you see formulation of your lipstick, then castor oil is always present inside it. Okay. It is obtained from the seeds of the castor plant. You know it very well. It is, as I said, it is most valuable lipstick base. It is present in all the lipstick bases. If you see, concentration is near about 40 to 50% of the concentration is present of castor oil. Okay. Then it has high viscosity. It has good dissolving power. So the colors, they get dissolved inside it, and it shows stability towards oxidation. So rancidity, etc., does not take place. Okay, it is compatible with other ingredients also, and it avoids smearing of the lipstick. So smearing जो होता है lipstick का, okay, that is not there if you are using castor oil. Okay. The next solvent that is being used is water. Can be used, but it is always used in minor quantities, basically in order to dissolve the colors. Water, mostly it is not being used because it is a oleaginous preparation. If you take sea lipstick, it is oleaginous preparation, so mostly the water is not being used, but if used, it can be used in a very minor quantity. Okay. Then the next liquid ingredient that you are going to add is vegetable oil. Usually the vegetable oil that I added are sesame oil or olive oil. It provides low solubility towards the dyes, and hence it is very less commonly used. So vegetables are not, oils are not that commonly used. Then you have next ingredient, that is butyl stearate. Again, it has less solubility for colors. Then they can readily wet the coloring pigments. They are also odorless, and they are also free from rancidity. The next liquid ingredient that can be added are propylene glycol. They are non-toxic. They possess a sweet taste. As you know very well, propylene glycol has very sweet taste. Okay, it is also having a very good wetting property. अगर आपकी wetting property अच्छी होगी, then it is going to wet the colors. Okay, and if the colors get wetted, okay, then they are going to get easily dispersed, okay, inside the other oils. Okay, so this wetting property is very important. Okay. Then it is always used in combination with monoesters of propylene glycol. Then you have silicone fluids, another liquid ingredient that can be added. Okay, it is used to release the mold, release the preparation, the stick from the mold. It is useful in that. It is also used in the minor quantities. Then you have isopropyl malate, okay, used in the concentration of near about 2 to 3%, act as a co-solvent along with your mineral oil, and it helps in increasing the lip gloss. Okay, so these are the, out of these say 7-8 preparation oils, okay, you can use any one of them. So mineral oils, castor oils, waters, vegetable oils, butyl stearate, propylene glycol, silicone fluid, isopropyl malate. So these forms the liquid, what you call that, sorry, the oil component, the liquid component. So you have a solid component and you have a liquid component. It is not necessary that you should use all of them. You can use any one of them, or you can use a combination of one or two of them. Okay, so out of these choices of solid waxes that we have, you can use any one or two of the solid waxes. Out of this liquid components that you have, you can use one or two liquid components. Softening agents. Now, what is the role of the softening agents? Now, softening agents basically increase the spreadability of the your lipstick. Now, you don't want your lipstick to be your lipstick is made stiff enough by the waxes. Okay, so if you don't add these softening agents, then the what you call that, the material, okay, the color, okay, is not going to spread evenly onto the surface of your lips, because it is hard enough, it is stiff enough. Agar aap, just for example, I always give the example of the candle. If you take the candle which is made up of waxes and you try to move it on your lips, is it going to form a layer? No, it is not going to form a layer. Why? Because it is very hard enough. The spreadability aspect is missing from it. That spreadability aspect, okay, is imparted by these softening agents. So what does do the softening agent do? They increase the spreadability of your lipstick onto the lips. That is the main purpose of this softening agent. Okay. So the softening agent are used to increase the spreadability by softening of the lipstick. Now, what are the various agents that have been used? The most important agent that is being used is anhydrous lanolin. Okay, as the name suggests, it does not contain any quantity of water. It is also known as wool fat, or it is also known as wool wax. The quantity that is used is near about 0.2%. What does it do? It imparts the gloss, it imparts the softness, it imparts the emolliency, okay, and protection to the lips. The melting point in the range of 36 to 42 degree Celsius. Okay, this is about anhydrous lanolin. The next ingredient that can be used is lanolin. Okay, lanolin can also be called as hydrous lanolin. Okay, because it contains the quantity. Anhydrous lanolin do not contain water, whereas lanolin plain contains water. It is also known as hydrous wool fat. Lanolin, anhydrous lanolin is known as only wool fat, whereas lanolin plain or hydrous lanolin is also known as hydrous wool fat. Now, it is also used in minor quantity, very low quantity, like this is the news. It's also used in very low quantities. Okay, and it improves the covering property of the film. Usually, anhydrous lanolin contains no quantity of water, whereas hydrous lanolin contains near about 25 to 30% of water. Okay, and this may usually result in sticky and greasy products. It also aids in dispersion of the color pigment, like your oils, like we have seen your oils. They help in dispersion of your color pigments. In the similar manner, lanolin can also help in dispersion of your coloring pigment. Okay. The next softening agent, so one you have is anhydrous lanolin, second you have is lanolin. Next you have is lanolin derivatives. You have cocoa butter, you have petrol atom, you have lecithin. Okay, so these are also the softening agents which can be added. Okay, cocoa butter at one point of time was very widely used because it had a very good emollient property. But because of its problem of rancidity and surface crystallization, it unfortunately the use of cocoa butter has been stopped, and lanolin, anhydrous, hydrous, and lanolin derivatives, they are more widely being used. You can also use petrol atom, okay, and they are basically odorless and tasteless. That is the advantage that they have, and also it enhances the gloss. It is obtained from petroleum product, okay, petrol atom, okay, or lecithin also can be used in minor quantities. It increases the ease of application. Okay, so these are the different softening agents that can be used. You have anhydrous lanolin, lanolin derivative, cocoa butter, petrol atom, or lecithin. Okay, these softening agents can also be are added in order to have the spreadability of your lipstick on the lips. The next and the most important ingredient is the coloring agent, isn't it? Why we are basically using the color, why we are basically using the lipstick is in order to impart color to your lips. What is this color going to do is it is going to make a lip stand out. Okay, at the same time it is going to hide any imperfection. that is there to the lips. Okay, colored lips are more attractive as compared to the non-colored lips. So in order to hide the imperfection, in order to enhance the beauty, what you are going to do is you are imparting the color, okay, to the lips. And that color, we cannot directly apply the color. So this color we are formulating in a formulation, and that formulation we are applying to the lips in the form of lipsticks. So lipstick, so the coloring is the agent, is the most important agent. Okay, what does it do? It stains the lips, okay, with the help of the dye stuff or the color, okay, that you are dye stuff color that you are being added. Now this dye, okay, when you talk about the dye, they usually form a chemical bond to the substrate. Okay, the meaning of the dye stuff is it forms a chemical bond to the substrate on which it is being applied. Okay, now what does it do? It covers the lips with the coloring layers, these colors, right? There are two types of colors that have been used. You have soluble colors and you have insoluble colors. As the name suggests, soluble colors are the colors which are soluble in your oil, water, or alcohol. Okay, which are using oil. You remember, we are going to disperse these colors inside the oil. That is the liquid component, isn't it? So soluble colors get solubilized into this oil, water, or the alcohol, whereas insoluble color, they do not get solubilized. In such cases, what you prepare is you prepare a dispersion. Okay, so they are organic or inorganic pigments which are insoluble. And as they are insoluble, so what you are going to prepare? You are going to prepare the dispersion in your oil, water, or your alcohol. You are going to prepare a dispersion inside it, as they are insoluble in nature. Now, what are the properties of this? What are the properties that are required from this coloring agent? First property that it is required is it should impart good opacity to the lips. It should form a good color. Okay, it should impart good color onto the lips. It should be easily and uniformly miscible with the oils used. So if it is soluble, it is well and good. Otherwise, it should either form a very good dispersion, and it should be uniformly miscible with the oils that have been used. They should be certified preparation. Either they should be certified as F, D, and with F, D, and C grade. What is the meaning of this? F? F stands for food. So if the color is certified as F, it means it can be used in food. If the color is certified as D, it means it can be used in drugs. And if it is certified as C, it means it can be used as in cosmetics. So food, drug, and cosmetics, these are F, D, and C. So if there is one color which is certified as D and C, it means what? It is used in, it can be used in drugs as well as in cosmetics. If there is some certified as F, D, and C, तीनों grade दिए, it means it can be used in food also, it can be used in drugs also, it can be used in cosmetics also. If there is some cosmetic which is certified only with C, it means it can be used only in cosmetics. And if there is no certificate, okay, if there is no certificate, then that those colors are not what to call that, not useful in in food or in drug or in cosmetics. Okay, then they should possess low contents of impurity. As I told you yesterday, these colors, they contain the impurity of arsenic and lead. These are trace elements, you know very well. Okay, you have studied the limit test of arsenic, you have studied the limit test of test in your first year, if I'm not wrong. Okay, there you must have studied that what are the harmful effects of arsenic and lead. They are not getting metabolized inside your body, and they accumulate inside your body, which may give harmful effects, isn't it? Most of the colors, okay, if they are not of standard quality, then they may contain arsenic and lead impurities, and they may be harmful to your body. Hence, the colors that you're going to use is should contain less amount of arsenic or very less amount of lead. It should be absent, or if present, it should be present in the very minor quantity. Okay, the quantities are prescribed in your Drug and Cosmetic Act. Okay.
Sir, you are not audible.
Absorb on aluminum hydroxide, barium oxides, or calcium oxides. And in order to get aluminum lakes, in order to get, when they are absorbed on barium oxide, you get barium lakes. When they are absorbed on calcium oxides, you get calcium lakes, okay, or strontium lakes. And the concentration that is used is near about 8 to 10%. The
Excuse me,
next,
sir.
yes.
Sir, can you repeat after the impurities point? You were not audible for a minute or two.
Okay. After you mean to say
Impurities
after
of
this?
arsenic and lead.
Arsenic and lead. Okay, 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 fine. Was I not audible to many of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine, fine, fine.
Exteriors also.
Just give me a minute. Okay, fine. Let me regroup my thoughts. Fine. So I was telling that these coloring agents, they should contain low amount of impurities. For example, they should contain a low amount of impurities in the form of arsenic and lead, because if they are present in high quantities, then they are going to cause problem, isn't it? You have studied about the limit test for arsenic and lead. In that, you have studied what are the problems that are caused because of arsenic and lead. Then I said that let us see some of the examples of the colorants that are used for lipstick. One of the colorants that is used is carmine. Okay. Now this carmine is obtained from cochineal seeds, from cochineal insects. When you treat it with ammonia, okay, when these cochineal insects are treated with ammonia, you get carminic acid. Okay, this carminic acid is precipitated with the help of alum, okay, and it is dried, and you get carmine. This is one of the colors that can be used. The second types of colors that are being used are dye stuff stains. Okay, the example of one of the dye stuff stain is eosin dye. This eosin dye is usually imparts the orange red color. When this eosin dye is turned acidic in nature, when the pH is being changed, you get acid eosin dye. These acid eosin dye changes from orange red color to intense red color at acidic pH. But it also causes allergic reactions such as allergic reactions or cheilitis. The side effects such as allergic reaction or cheilitis is being caused by them. Now, these are some of the examples that we are taking. For example, carmine, or for example, dye stuff stains. These are some of the examples that we are taking. Like that, there may be many examples of dye stuff stains, etc. Okay. Now, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
able to hear me? You are able to hear me, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so we talked about the two examples, that is carmine and dye stuff stains. The next examples are pigmented stains. Now, what are pigmented stains? They are usually the dispersion that are there of the colors inside the solvent. They may be they may be organic or they may be inorganic. Next type of agents are lakes. Okay. Now, what are lakes? Lakes are not water soluble in nature. Okay. Now, they are potential pigment for many D and C colors. They may be absorbed on aluminum hydroxide, barium oxides, calcium oxides, and accordingly, you get aluminum lakes. If you are absorbed on barium oxides, you get barium lakes. They are absorbed on calcium oxide, you get calcium lakes. They are If they are absorbed on strontium oxides, you get strontium lakes. And usually the concentration that is used is near about 8 to 10%. Now, after that, after coloring agents, the next agents that can be used are pearls and pigments. Now, these pearls and pigment give pearl-like appearance. Okay, आपने बहुत बार माइका लिया होगा हाथ में. bachpan mein. I don't know you have done that or not, but we used to take that mica and we used to crush that mica on the hand. If you crush that mica on the hand, you will find that you get pearl-like appearance onto the hand. Have you done that or not? Anybody who has done that in the chat box? Who has taken mica on the hand and you rub that mica and that mica breaks. Okay. And after breaking of that mica, okay, you get that pearl type of an appearance onto the hand. Okay. So that shimmery kind of an appearance, okay, onto the hand. Nobody's in the chat box. Nobody has done that. माइका आपने कभी हाथ में लेके उसको क्रश नहीं किया है बचपन में? No? Okay, fine, no problem. So if you do that, then you get that pearl-like appearance onto the hand. Okay. In the similar manner, the pearls and pigments are added to the lipstick, whereby when you apply the lipstick onto the what you call that lips, you get that pearl type appearance. Okay. So it imparts pearl-like appearance to the product when applied onto the lips. Examples are guanine crystals, which are obtained from fish scales. So the fish scales are removed earlier. If you have seen while preparing, if you know while preparing the fish, okay, while cooking the fish, what you do is you remove these fish scales earlier. This fish scale are added into the lipstick in order to get the pearl-like appearance. Okay. Now, the other ingredient that he uses is bismuth oxychloride. In near about 70% of castor oil may also be added, okay, in order to give that lustrous look. The another agent that is added to the lipstick is opacifying agents. Okay. Now, what does this opacifying agent do? They usually opacify the lipstick. The best kind of opacifying agent is the titanium dioxide. They are basically used to, as I told you, they are basically used to alter the shades. Okay. So this titanium oxide, when used in varying quantities, they are going to alter the shade. They are going to make your shade a little bit of matte finish. Okay. It is going to give the matte finish to your shades. Now, various shades can be obtained, okay, with varying proportion by using of titanium dioxide, which is the opacifying agent. Okay. The other agent that has been added inside the lipstick is your perfumes. Usually light floral fragrances are added. Rose oil, cinnamon oil, lavender oil. These are the oils that are used in order to have a very good, to impart a very good smell to your lipstick. It also helps to cover the fatty odor of the oily waxes. So you are using oils and waxes, okay, and it has a very fatty kind of an odor. That fatty kind of an odor can be eliminated, okay, or can be masked with the help of these floral fragrances or with these fruity fragrances. Okay, they the perfumes that are used should be tasteless. It should be non-irritating, and it should also be it should be compactable. Now, there are other agents that are also been added to the lipstick. They are also known as miscellaneous agent. They are required. They can be added or they may not be added. One of them is preservative. Usually, the quantity of water that is present is nil inside a lipstick. It is usually a oleaginous preparation. So most of the time, preservatives may not be required. Okay, but in order to increase the shelf life of the preparation, in order to reduce any microbial growth, you can add preservatives. Okay. Methyl paraben, propyl paraben can be used. The concentration of preservative used is very small, that is negligible, near about 0.1% can be used. But they contain fatty material, or they contain oily material, your lipstick. Hence, antioxidants are very, very important. Okay. That are required to be added inside the lipsticks in order to prevent the oxidation, okay, which may result in the degradation of the product. Okay. So the commonly used antioxidants are BHA, that is butylated hydroxy anisole, butylated hydroxytoluene, tocopherols, propyl gallate, butylated hydroxyquinones. Okay. So these are the agents that can be used. Apart from that flavoring agent, we have earlier talked about the perfumes. whatever perfumes you are adding along with that, your flavoring agent should go along with that. Okay, also sweetening agents can be added, okay, because you are applying it to the lips, so there are chances that these product may go inside the mouth also. So the flavoring agent and the sweetening agent should also be added to it. It imparts good flavor, it imparts good taste, okay, to your preparation. The different oils, cinnamon oils, spearmint oil, then for sweetening agents such as sodium saccharin, ammonium glycerate, okay, these can be used. This can also be added. So these are the different agents that have been added in order to form a lipstick. I talked about the formulation yesterday with you, which consists of the liquid ingredient, that is castor oil, okay. Then it consists of the emollient, that is the softening agent, the lanolin, okay, anhydrous lanolin is being used over here. Then you have different solidifying agent, that is candidilla wax, you have your beeswax, you have carnauba wax, you have ozocoride wax, used in different combination, okay, in order to impart the stiffness to the preparation. Then again you have the blending agent, that is again the oils or the liquid component, that is isopropyl maliate. You can add preservative to this as methyl paraben or propyl paraben or combination. You can add antioxidants to this preparation, okay. Coloring agent is missing in this formulation, so coloring agent should be added, which is very important. So this is the formula of the base. In this formula of the base, okay, which gives you a stick like preparation, okay, to this you can add your preservative, antioxidants, you can add your coloring agents, okay, you can add your flavoring agents, sweetening agents, etc. Different components can be added in order to get a very good formula for your lipstick, okay. So if you remember, what are the supposing a question comes right about the formulation and manufacturing of lipstick, okay, and you should not just write this as the formula. This is expected, this is the formulation, okay, this is the formulation of the lipstick, but you should write down about the earlier slides which I have talked about, okay. You should write down all these slides, you should write a little bit about each and everything, okay. What are the ingredients that can be added into it, okay, what are the liquid components, what are the solid components that can be added. So all these slides, a little bit of these slides should be included along, and after that at the end you are expected to write about the formula, okay, formula that you have prepared from that earlier this things, okay, from your earlier information, okay. So that is expected from you. Next, let us go to the manufacturing procedure, how the lipstick is been manufactured. Now, in order to manufacture a lipstick, the first step that you have to do is you have to grind, or you have to mix your pigments, you have to mix your colors along with the oil. That is the first step, okay. This step is known as pigment grinding step. So what you do is you take the pigment, that is the color, you take your oils, that is the liquid component, you mix them together, and you pass them through the and you micronize them, you grind them. How do you grind them? By passing them to different mills, okay. So you have triple roll mill, you have bead mill, you have conventional different mills from which it can be passed. Alternatively, many a times what you do is you use pre-micronized pigments, okay. Now, pre-micronized pigments are the pigments, they are the coloring agents which are micronized, okay. They are very small in size. And when you are using these types of pigment, they have many advantages of pre-micronized pigments. Basically, they spread very easily. They form, they get dispersed very easily. They form a solution very easily if they are soluble, and they form solution very easily. Secondly, you don't need to do this pigment grinding. This step is avoided, whereby you prepare the pigments and you pass it through mills. It may be colloidal mill. A colloidal mill is very widely used, okay, in order to do pigment grinding, etc. Okay. So this step is been avoided when you are using pre-micronized pigments. So the first step is in order to prepare a pigment grind, whereby the pigment is taken, it mixed with the oil, it is passed through the mills, and a proper dispersion of your color along with your oil has been prepared. In the next step, what you do is you take all the solid component, that is all the waxes, etc. you take, and you melt them. Okay. After melting them, you're also heating your oils also. You heat your oil also. You heat your waxes also. And this waxes you add slowly into your oil. Okay. Sometimes while heating the waxes, what you can do is you can also add a little bit quantity of oil to it. So this oil are mixed with a little bit quantity of, these waxes are mixed with little bit quantity of oil, so that the process of melting, okay, inside the kettle is been, what to call that, it has been hastened, okay, it has been helped to, okay. So you take oil, you mix it with coloring agent, you take oil, you mix it with waxes, you heat both the agents, then you add this wax phase to your oil phase. So that it basically what you do is you take all oleaginous phases and you mix them together, okay. Then you slightly cool them. You don't cool them totally, please remember. You don't cool them totally. You slightly cool them, and after cooling, what you do is you add the fragrances, you add preservatives, and you add the other ingredients, for example, antioxidants, etc., whatever pulsant agent, whatever you want to add. So these agents have been added. The softening agents is added earlier only. Sometimes what you do is inside the softening agent also the colors have been added. Okay, that can also be done. So the softening agents are also added earlier only. Then what you are going to do is then once the temperature comes down a little bit low, but it is still in the movable phase, it is not become stiff in nature, it is still in the movable phase, then what you do is you pour these contents inside the mold. Okay, so you have the lipstick mold. Inside the lipstick mold, you pour these contents, whatever you have melted and you have mixed, right? And then you allow it to solidify. Okay, after solidifying, what you do is you remove this lipstick from the mold. Okay, after removing from the mold, this sticks. Okay, you hold it in front of a flame. Okay, the top of the lipstick is held in the front of the flame, so that in order to get the glossy finish to the preparation, to the surface. This is how you manufacture the lipstick.